10 Rolex watches that will explode in value, 2026 to 2030. Rolex isn't just a watchmaker, it's a financial phenomenon. Over the past decade, certain models have quietly multiplied in value, turning ordinary collectors into investors without them even realizing it. And now, from 2026 to 2030, a new wave of Rolex references is preparing to surge. Some slowly, some explosively, and a few so dramatically that today's price will look unbelievable in just a few years. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we reveal 10 Rolex watches predicted to skyrocket in value based on market behavior, production patterns, collector psychology, and historical price cycles. These aren't random guesses. These are the same signals serious collectors use to stay ahead of the market. Before we start, make sure you hit like, share this video with your watch community, and subscribe if you want more research-backed insights, luxury storytelling, and deep dive analyses into the world's most coveted timepieces. All right, let's begin the countdown and explore the Rolex models that may define the next generation of watch investing. 10. Rolex Explorer II Polar. At number 10, we begin with a watch that spent years overlooked, but is now quietly preparing for a major rise. The Rolex Explorer II Polar. Its crisp white dial, sharp black markers, and bold orange 24-hour hand give it a look unlike anything else in the Rolex lineup. A look born from the world of real exploration, where sunlight disappears and function becomes more important than flash. This authenticity, once taken for granted, is now exactly what collectors are craving. But what truly strengthens its future value is what beats inside, the Rolex Caliber 3187. Used exclusively in this reference, it features Rolex's Parachrome hairspring and Paraflex shock absorbers, making it especially resistant to shocks and harsh environments. It's a tough, reliable movement built specifically for the Explorer II, something newer models no longer carry in the same form, giving a quiet mechanical uniqueness. And then comes the turning point. It's discontinued, the end of the 42mm Explorer II era. As Rolex moves towards slimmer and more refined proportions, this larger, more rugged generation is transforming into a snapshot of a bygone design philosophy. Bold, functional, unmistakable. As collectors realize this, demand is rising, supply is tightening, and prices are beginning to climb with noticeable momentum. With its striking polar dial, its adventurous identity, its exclusive movement, and its discontinued status, that has every sign of becoming one of the most surprising climbers between 2026 and 2030. It's not loud, it's not flashy, but it's a ticking time capsule. Quiet now, but ready to erupt in value when the world finally turns its attention to it. 9. Rolex Milgauss Z Blue. At number 9, we move to a watch that was once misunderstood, even underestimated, but is now quietly turning into one of Rolex's most promising future collectibles, the Milgauss Z Blue. And that origin story, the idea that Rolex built a watch specifically for the scientific frontier, is exactly what makes the Milgauss so compelling today, especially as the world becomes increasingly fascinated with technology and innovation. The electric metallic blue dial shifts and shimmers with a depth that feels alive, and when framed beneath the green-tinted sapphire crystal, a feature found on no other Rolex, it becomes instantly iconic. Add to that the bright orange lightning bolt seconds hand, a playful nod to the original Milgauss from the 1950s, and suddenly you're looking at something that feels bold, futuristic, and unlike anything else the brand has ever created. Beneath that striking exterior beats the Rolex Caliber 3131, a movement engineered for superior magnetic resistance thanks to its Faraday cage protection and paramagnetic components. It's reliable, purpose-built, and exclusive to the Milgauss line, giving this reference a mechanical identity that disappears entirely now that Rolex has discontinued the model. And that discontinuation, quiet, sudden, definitive, is what has flipped the Milgauss from quirky outsider to future collector's prize. There will be no more green sapphire crystals, no more Z blue dials, no more lightning bolt. The entire design language of the Milgauss ended the moment Rolex removed it from the catalog, and collectors are now realizing just how rare and irreplaceable this model truly is. Prices have already begun to climb as the market absorbs the news, but the real acceleration is expected between 2026 and 2030, when scarcity deepens, appreciation widens, and the next generation of collectors starts hunting for discontinued pieces with strong personality and strong stories. And few watches tell a story more vividly than the Milgauss Z Blue, a watch that dared to be different, quietly left the stage, and is now preparing for its rise as one of the decade's most explosive value climbers. 8. Rolex Submariner 14060M. At number 8, we arrive at a watch many collectors regard as the last true Submariner, the Rolex Submariner reference, 14060M. In an era where luxury watches grow more polished and complex, the 14060M stands as a reminder of when the Submariner was still a pure tool watch, clean, minimal, and built strictly for divers. And that purity is exactly what's fueling its rising value as we head toward 2026 and beyond. The moment you see the 14600M, the difference is unmistakable. There's no date window interrupting the dial, no Cyclops lens, just a perfectly balanced, symmetrical layout with black dial, white lume plots, and an aluminum bezel that feels functional rather than flashy. Inside beats the Rolex Caliber 3130, a movement known for its rugged reliability and precision. It's simple, tough, and trusted, the kind of engine collectors appreciate in a no-nonsense professional Rolex. But what accelerates its investment story is the fact that the 14060M is discontinued. Modern no-date subs have become far more expensive and more luxury in character, pushing collectors to rediscover this earlier reference. As demand grows, more pieces disappear into long-term collections, tightening supply and pushing prices upward. Across watch forums and collector groups, conversations around the 14060M grow louder each year. Its slim profile, aluminum bezel insert, and clean no-date layout make it a classic that ages gracefully, both visually and financially. Between 2026 and 2030, experts expect a steady rise, potentially even a sharp one, as more collectors chase the last classic Submariner. Quiet, timeless, and increasingly scarce, the 14060M stands poised to become one of the most desirable sub-references of the next decade. 7. Rolex GMT-Master II Batman. At number 7, we come to a watch that reshaped modern Rolex collecting the moment it launched, the Rolex GMT-Master II Batman Ref 1 16710 BLNR. When Rolex introduced the blue and black ceramic bezel, it wasn't just a new color, it was a breakthrough that instantly created a modern icon. And that originality is exactly what's fueling its rising value as we head toward 2026 and beyond. The moment you see the 11671 BLNR, its appeal is clear. The seamless fade from black to blue represents night and day for travelers, while the glossy black dial and oyster bracelet give it a balanced, sporty elegance that makes the watch instantly recognizable. Inside runs the Rolex Caliber 3186, appreciated for its smooth jumping hour function and true independent GMT hand. It's precise, robust, and marks an important chapter in the GMT-Master's evolution. But what truly drives its investment strength is its discontinued status. When Rolex replaced the 16710 BLNR with the Jubilee bracelet version, the original oyster bracelet Batman became a standalone collectible. Collectors love the first version, and this reference is exactly that, the first blue-black ceramic GMT. As demand grows, more pieces are locked into long-term collections, shrinking available supply. Across watch forums and markets, the 16710 BLNR is praised for its design, balance, and growing rarity. Between 2026 and 2030, experts anticipate strong upward momentum as collectors pursue early ceramic GMTs with historical significance. Distinctive, modern, and increasingly scarce, The Batman is positioned to be one of the decade's top-performing Rolex investments. 6. Rolex Sea Dweller. At number 6, we turn to a watch that has long stood quietly behind the Submariner, yet is now rising as one of the most compelling Rolex investments, the Rolex Sea Dweller. Built for saturation divers, the 16600 embodies the era when Rolex tool watches were pure, rugged, and purpose-driven. And that authenticity is exactly what's fueling its growing appeal as we approach 2026 and beyond. The moment you see the 16600, its professional character is clear. There's no Cyclops magnifier, the dial is clean and functional, and the aluminum bezel gives it a vintage charm missing from modern ceramic models. Its slimmer proportions make it more wearable than newer Sea Dwellers while still retaining serious diving capability. Inside beats the Rolex Caliber 3135, a movement celebrated for its durability and precision. It's a proven workhorse, one collectors trust, especially in discontinued professional references. And yes, the 16600 is now discontinued, replaced by larger, more modern versions. That shift has sparked renewed interest in this older reference, which represents the final chapter of the classic Sea Dweller design. As collectors hold on to their pieces, supply tightens and market prices continue to rise. Across watch communities, the 16600 is praised for its balance of vintage appeal and modern reliability. It's increasingly viewed as an undervalued gem in the Rolex lineup, one whose true potential is just beginning to be recognized. Between 2026 and 2030, experts expect steady and possibly accelerated appreciation as demand increases for classic tool watch designs. Tough, understated, and becoming harder to find, the Sea Dweller 16600 is poised to become one of the standout Rolex divers of the next decade. 5. Rolex Datejust 36 Wimbledon Dial. At number 5, we spotlight a watch that transformed the perception of the Datejust line, the Rolex Datejust 36 Wimbledon Dial. Long known as the elegant classic of the Rolex family, the Datejust gained a new level of desirability when the Wimbledon dial emerged, adding sophistication and character that collectors are increasingly drawn to as we move toward 2026 and beyond. The moment you see the 126234, its charm is immediate. The slate gray sunburst dial shifts beautifully under light, while the green outlined Roman numerals pay subtle tribute to the iconic Wimbledon championships. Paired with the 18-karat white gold fluted bezel in Jubilee bracelet, the watch balances sportiness and elegance in a way few modern Datejust configurations can match. Inside, it runs on the Rolex Caliber 3235, featuring the Chronergy escapement, improved efficiency, and a robust 70-hour power reserve. This modern movement gives the watch strong long-term reliability, an important factor for future collectors and investors. But its investment strength comes from demand and scarcity. The Wimbledon dial is consistently one of the hardest Datejust configurations to acquire at retail. And as more collectors keep their pieces, supply tightens. Prices on the secondary market have already shown steady growth, with forecasts pointing upward. Across watch communities, the Wimbledon dial is praised as a modern classic, distinctive, versatile, and instantly recognizable. Its unique design places it in a category of its own within the Datejust lineup. Between 2026 and 2030, experts anticipate continued appreciation for the 126234. Beautiful, sought after, and increasingly scarce, it's shaping up to be one of the most compelling modern Datejust investments of the decade. 4. Rolex Yacht-Master 40 Rhodium Dial. At number 4, we arrive at a watch that has quietly shifted from an underrated choice to one of Rolex's most intriguing modern collectibles, the Rolex Yacht-Master 40 Rhodium Dial. For years, the Yacht-Master sat between sport and luxury, but the Rhodium Dial version gave it a personality that collectors are now rediscovering. And that rising interest is exactly what drives its investment potential heading toward 2026 and beyond. The moment you see the 116622, its charm is undeniable. The slate rhodium sunburst dial shifts beautifully under light, while the electric blue seconds hand and Yacht-Master text add a refined modern contrast. Paired with the platinum bezel, which glows with an icy sheen, The watch strikes a rare balance of elegance and sportiness that makes it stand out in the Rolex lineup. Inside, it runs on the Rolex caliber 3135, a movement trusted for its durability and accuracy. And now that the is discontinued, replaced by models with updated movements, collectors see it as the final chapter of this beloved configuration, especially the last platinum bezel Yacht-Master paired with the classic 3135. What boosts its investment outlook even further is its uniqueness. No other Rolex offers this exact combination of rhodium dial, platinum bezel, and blue accents. As collectors increasingly value distinctive designs over hype pieces, the 116622 continues to gain traction on the secondary market. Between 2026 and 2030, experts expect steady appreciation fueled by tightening supply, rising demand, and growing recognition of its understated beauty. Elegant, distinctive, and increasingly hard to find, the Yacht-Master 116622 is positioned to be one of the standout modern Rolex investments of the decade. 3. Rolex Sky Dweller Blue Dial. At number 3, we turn to a watch that has risen from a complicated outlier to one of Rolex's most coveted modern references, the Rolex Sky Dweller Blue Dial. When the Sky Dweller was first introduced, its bold design and advanced functions made it a curiosity. Demand surged, waitlist grew, and the quickly became a modern classic with undeniable investment potential as we head toward 2026 and beyond. The instant you see the watch, its appeal is unmistakable. The sunburst blue dial shifts beautifully under light, giving the piece a depth and richness few modern Rolex models can match. Paired with the white gold fluted bezel and the distinctive dual-time display, the watch carries both sophistication and technical flair. It's luxurious without being loud, complex yet effortlessly elegant. Inside, it houses the Rolex Calibre 9001, the brand's most advanced movement, a masterpiece featuring an annual calendar and dual time zone display controlled through the innovative ring command bezel. Collectors value not just its complexity, but its reliability, a rare combination in the world of high-complication watches. But what truly fuels its rising value is scarcity. The Blue Dial Sky Dweller is notoriously hard to obtain at retail, often with multi-year waiting lists. As more collectors hold on to their pieces long-term, market supply continues to tighten, and secondary prices remain consistently strong. Its blend of complication, stainless steel construction, and universally loved blue dial creates a perfect formula for sustained appreciation. Across watch communities, the Sky Dweller Blue is celebrated as one of Rolex's finest modern designs. Collectors admire its engineering, and investors trust its upward trajectory, and enthusiasts love its striking yet refined presence. Between 2026 and 2030, experts expect the Sky Dweller Blue to continue outperforming much of the modern Rolex market. Rare, desirable, and increasingly iconic, it's poised to remain one of the strongest Rolex investments of the coming decade. 2. Rolex Daytona Panda Dial. At number 2, we arrive at a watch that has become the defining symbol of modern Rolex collecting, the Rolex Daytona Panda Dial. When this model debuted in 2016, with its crisp white dial, black ceramic bezel, and contrasting black subdials, it immediately set the market on fire. It wasn't just popular, it became the watch everyone wanted, and that enduring demand is exactly what positions it for powerful value growth as we approach 2026 and beyond. The moment you see the 116500LN, its impact is undeniable. The black-on-white Panda layout gives the watch a bold, vintage-inspired racing aesthetic, while the Cerachrome bezel adds a modern, high-performance edge. It's clean, striking, and instantly recognizable, the kind of design that defines an era. Inside, it's powered by the Rolex Caliber 4130, a chronograph movement praised for its precision, efficiency, and exceptional reliability. With a robust vertical clutch system and fewer moving parts than traditional chronographs, the 4130 has earned a reputation as one of the best and most dependable automatic chronograph movements ever made. What truly drives its investment value is scarcity. The 116500LN has always been nearly impossible to buy at retail. And now that Rolex has discontinued it in favor of the updated 1-26500LN, the original Panda has cemented its status as a modern classic. Collectors hold on to their pieces, secondary market prices remain strong, and available supply keeps shrinking. Investors admire its steady growth, enthusiasts love its design, and the market respects its long-term stability. Between 2026 and 2030, experts predict the 11,650 LN will continue to lead the pack. Iconic, scarce, and deeply desirable, it is perfectly positioned to remain one of the strongest Rolex investments of the decade. 1. Rolex Submariner Kermit 50th Anniversary. At number 1, we reach a watch that has already become a modern icon and is now positioned for one of the strongest value surges of the coming years. The Rolex Submariner Kermit, released in 2003 for the Submariner's 50th anniversary. This was the first time Rolex introduced its now famous green accent to the Submariner line, marking a bold departure from tradition and laying the foundation for a new era of design. The moment you see the 1661 LV, its impact is immediate. The green aluminum bezel brings a vibrant contrast to the classic black maxi dial and the well-balanced 40mm case. It represents the final stage of the traditional Submariner aesthetic before Rolex moved into ceramic bezels and bulkier cases, making it a bridge between vintage charm and modern durability. Inside, it houses the Rolex Caliber 3135, a movement renowned for reliability and long-term stability. Its proven track record adds mechanical confidence to a reference already rich in symbolic value, one of the key elements collectors look for in long-term investments. What fuels its appreciation even more is its milestone status. It's the first anniversary Submariner, the first Rolex diver to wear green, and a pivotal piece in the evolution of the entire Submariner line. As awareness grows, so does demand, and circulation continues to shrink as collectors hold on to their Kermits. Market trends show a steady upward climb, and experts expect that trajectory to strengthen between 2026 and 2030. Historic, distinctive, and increasingly scarce, the 16610 LV is positioned to be one of the decade's standout performers, a watch built for collectors who understand both value and legacy. And there you have it, 10 Rolex watches perfectly positioned to surge in value between 2026 and 2030. If you've stayed with me until now, you're already ahead of most collectors. Because while everyone else chases hype, you now understand the stories, the history, and the hidden catalysts that truly drive long-term appreciation. Before you go, let me ask you this. Which watch surprised you the most? Which one is already on your wish list? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if you found this video valuable, don't forget to support the channel. Hit the like button. It helps the video reach more collectors. Share this video with someone who loves Rolex as much as you do. And subscribe if you want more deep dives, market insights, and storytelling from inside the world of luxury watches. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. And remember, in the world of Rolex, every second counts. But knowing which seconds to invest in, that's the secret.